September 13th, 1848. A railroad foreman named Phineas Gage is doing something he's done 100 times before, packing explosive powder into a hole drilled into solid rock using a 3-foot, 13-pound iron rod. This time, the rod sparks against the rock. The powder ignites early, and the iron rod is blasted straight up through his skull, entering below his left cheekbone, tearing behind his left eye, and exiting through the top of his head. It lands 25 yards away, covered in blood and brain matter. Phineas Gage does not die. He barely even loses consciousness. Within minutes, he's talking. Within the hour, he's sitting upright in an ox cart, riding into town to see a doctor, with a hole straight through his skull. His body survived losing a piece of its brain, but something else about him didn't survive the same way. And that's the part of this story that's actually about you. Here's what doctors slowly realized while watching Gage recover. Your brain isn't one single machine running one single program. It's more like a toolbox, dozens of separate, specialized tools, each built for one job. One tool handles speech, one handles walking, one recognizes faces, and one, tucked right behind your forehead called the prefrontal cortex, handles impulse control, planning, and keeping your personality consistent. That's the exact tool the iron rod destroyed on its way through. Before the accident, coworkers described Gage as calm, reliable, well-liked, the kind of foreman men trusted to run a crew. Afterward, according to the doctor who treated him, he became impulsive, foul-mouthed, and unable to stick to a plan. His friends reportedly said he was simply no longer Gage. Here's where most retellings of this story stop, but it's not actually where the real story ends. When historians went back decades later and checked the original medical records, they found the personality change story had been exaggerated with every retelling until Gage basically became a horror movie character. Real evidence suggests he actually recovered a surprising amount of his old self over time. He went on to hold down jobs for years, including driving a stagecoach, which is honestly more interesting than the myth. Your brain doesn't just survive damage, it renegotiates. Other tools in the toolbox start covering shifts they were never originally hired for. You don't need an iron rod through your skull for this to apply to you. Your own toolbox gets reshaped every single day, just quieter and without the blood. Chronic stress can wear down that same prefrontal impulse control tool Gage lost overnight, just slowly instead of instantly. Depression and anxiety can erode memory and focus over years, not seconds. And the reverse is true too. Exercise, sleep, and real social connection physically strengthen those exact same tools. No explosion required, no doctor needed. Just time and daily habits doing the renovation. So here's the uncomfortable question this whole story is really asking. If one tool breaking can change who a person is, how much of you is actually fixed, less than you'd probably like to believe? Personality isn't a soul bolted permanently into your skull. It's software running on hardware that gets rewritten constantly. By injury, sure, but far more often by stress, sleep habits, and the people you spend your time around. So next time you catch yourself in a bad mood, a rut, or a trait about yourself you don't love, remember Gage. His toolbox took a literal iron rod straight through it and still found a way to rebuild. Yours is being reshaped right now, too, by something a lot less dramatic, your Tuesday afternoon. Which tool are you sharpening today? That's the mind. Stranger and far more repairable than most people give it credit for. That's Nousvera. If stories like this stick with you, subscribe. We dig into one strange piece of the mind every week.